If China declares war on Taiwan, what happens to the stock market? Right now I'm cautious about my international footprint. Europe seems to have fallen into stagnation. China is poised to face major economic problems. And there is a lot of concern about an invasion of Taiwan in the next few years. Let's pretend that tomorrow China declares war on Taiwan. What happens to the stock market? And how someone hedged their portfolio against this. Raytheon, Lockheed, Nortarhop play salty cracker and we have to eat it. WW3 is kicked off and you'll be sad that you didn't invest in bottle caps or an underground bunker. I'm not super intelligent. And I'm drunk high. But I'm pretty sure most of the stock market takes a shit. Stock market? What stock market? Where we are going, we won't need a stock market. They declare war on Taiwan, you ain't caring about the markets lol. Gold up. Oil up. Chinese stocks down. USA defense companies up. But not huge. Semiconductor tech companies way down or crash in some cases due to loss of control of their production in Taiwan. Given the world we are living in, nothing will surprise me anymore. As a civilization, we have advanced, but not matured. Lockheed Martin would go way up. My original comment was removed for a key phrase tied to WSB lol. But I stand by that original comment. Won't happen. China no money for pew pew. NVDA and AMD plummet. Shaking my head puts might be decent insurance. Then China would be declaring war with itself according to China. Imagine how stupid they'd look. War bonds, war bonds, war bonds. WW3 and stocking up on supplies would be your priority. Obviously stocks would take a massive dump. It will never happen. The idea of war is made up by the elites to keep the poor and poorer. You know how long it's been since this war talks circulated in the media. Wake up people. No government wants a war to end humanity. We can only afford the little wars disputes. There can only be one and two. Not a third or others. Even every country's money is threatened by Bitcoin and the likes. They're too busy trying to avoid the devaluation of their money. Your 5K Fidelity account becomes the least of your concerns. Well, the US vowed to defend them. For some fucking reason. So we might be drawn into a war with China which will have a domino effect and cause all-out WW3. The Israel and Palestine war could also lead to this. Nvidia and Apple tank. Intel chips go through the roof. Alright, I am off this stupid subreddit. This like the UFOs channel. Apple destroyed. But thankfully they are gradually moving to India. China will not declare war on Taiwan since it already claims sovereign rights over the island. Down it go. It'll definitely go to the right. It either goes up or down. Boom goes the dynamite. China isn't going to do shit with Taiwan. It's all just jingoistic saber rattling. The US and its allies would whoop their ass so hard. Chinese leadership knows this. They're not dumb nor suicidal. China is not gonna invade Taiwan when their economy is in shambles LMAO. Turn off the mainstream news and read Manufacturing Consent by Noam Chomsky. The stock market is much easier to understand with media literacy. China bottoms in. Let's go boys. The likelihood of that happening is the same as the US invading Puerto Rico. China has been having major economic problems since 2020. It will drop like a rock. China is big deal unlike Ukraine-Israel war. China is having a re-meltdown. And the government is not going to bail any of the developers out. Most Chinese are invested heavily in RE. If there's a crash, we may see protests that rival Tiananmen Square in comparison. I don't think they are going to start any wars anytime soon. China cannot declare war on itself. Look at the 5-year chart, specifically March 2020. But without the immediate rebound because much of the world just went into total war mode and the global shipping lanes are all gone. What do you invest in then? Ammo, seeds, planting soil and fertilizer, gas, gold, whatever else you need from there. Market dives, then gets locked for a few weeks. Then the witch hunt starts for hidden Chinese companies. Then after few weeks months some limited trading will be allowed. Apple, NKE, SBUX, TSM. Any companies that are heavily reliant on China for growth and revenue. Drill. What happens with stock market if the earth goes under cold sweat? Smile. SP pops over 5. Reason uncertainty resolved. It turns into a pumpkin. The question: what happens to China's food supply from America? It's not so much if China declares war on Taiwan, but how the US will respond to it. Can we just not? What wouldn't give for a week of calm in the last 25 years? Everything will be deep red in aftermarket trading but then somehow return to a little bit above break even by 4:00 the next day. Bad. It's already priced in. If so, China will be disappeared from the market. Puts on chips. Goes up and down forever. Always opposite of what you think. Prob rips up due to infinite short-term printing. The stock market declares war on Taiwan. Stocks go down due to panic. And then the next day, they rally because of increased printing and more weapon sales to Taiwan. Later, the news media portrays the situation as the worst recession ever, causing the market to tank. Eventually, the media states that the worst is over, leading to a market rally. Wait a week or two for people to properly freak out. Then buy everything like it's Black Friday. Bulk of Taiwan's high-value exports are semiconductor-related items. Motherboards, gigabytes, Asus, RAM, Phison Electronics, Fabs, UMC, TSMC. If that happens, the immediate fallout is massive. It's gonna take a lot of time to ramp up productions elsewhere to replace it. The entire supply chain for consumer and high-end semis gets smacked hard. Intel may benefit from there. China? War? In this economy? You would probably have bigger worries than your stocks, but the stock market would take an absolute dive. If war breaks, you don't have to worry about the stock market anymore. Just buy USD and gold. Everything will dive into water but gold. That's WW3. Doesn't matter what it does when nukes are flying. Multinational companies with assets in China take a big hit. When Russia invaded Ukraine, many of these companies had to write down everything in Russia. Big move down in stocks of these companies. China is stockpiling gold and oil big time now while selling off US Treasury bonds as fast as possible. The possibility of an invasion is there, especially with Xi still in control. Taiwan is the biggest exporter of computer chips. And everything has a computer in it now, even automobiles. It would be pretty bad for everything because even the supply chain relies on computers and therefore computer hardware. Defense stocks will probably do well.